according to people that are in the know with time. And so we are going to start with roll call. Sarah, you're good?
We're all set.
All set with roll call?
I'd like to move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Does this need to be read? Does this need to be added official?
Well, that's what Drew's doing right now.
Okay.
Yep.
We can read it out loud if you want to.
Do we read it then, or when we go to we get to it on the agenda? I thought we
Read it when we get to it.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Okay, thank you, Roger.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I think we have everybody in favor. That has passed. So now if we would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I roll out of my chair. Okay, next we have the approval of the minutes of the November 25th, 2025 regular meeting and the November 25th, 2025 closed session.
Move to approve.
Support.
We have a motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have approved the minutes. So now we go down to hearings. First, we're going to hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. or soon thereafter as the agenda allows to consider the final special assessment district number 3 of 2023 for the sanitary sewer service leads constructed as part of the North Washington Sanitary Sewer Project.
Move to open the hearing.
Support.
Thank you. Okay, so the hearing is open. Do we all roll? Okay, if all is in favor of opening the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we have opened the meeting. Thank you, Sarah. And Dave is going to give us the intel.
I'm going to try to, anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Dave Ringel, Public Services Director. As the Vice Mayor had mentioned, this is the final SAD hearing to close out the project for the sanitary sewer replacement we know as the sewer north of Washington Avenue. Project that happened about 2 years ago now, quarter of the year, but a year ago this last summer. If anybody needs a refresher, this is the region we did, highlighted with that red cloud. It goes from the sanitary sewer main was replaced from Washington Avenue, going to the northwest, then out through a few streets, going through some easements, going through some non-developed areas that were wooded prior to this project, and it ends at the west end at Chatterton and Pine Avenue. So those are the project boundaries. Here was the initial SAD that was set up back about 2 years ago, probably within the same time 2 years ago. As you can see, we estimate, we don't know how many laterals we're going to replace, and for a refresher, the city replaces sanitary sewer laterals that are anything other than structurally sound plastic. Anything other than that, the city replaces. The city will pay for half, property owner for the affected lateral pays the other half. And because we don't know what materials are until we excavate under the ground, we estimate based on the aerial view where the lateral is, where the main is, where the lateral is, and we kind of come up with an estimate. We use a generic number of 33. That was for the initial. And because we don't know, we can always put people on there for the initial SAD, and then at the end, based on what's replaced, we can remove. So here are the final numbers that we had. These are measured as per what goes in the ground. So you'll see numbers that kind of range. This one ranges a little bit all over the place. It's not as tight as some of them are. The reasons are is because this sewer is so deep into the ground. A number of those laterals don't go out perfectly at the same depth and line up with the main. On a more common street project, they'll come out, take 45s going down. Some of them, it depended on how far the sanitary was from the house. A few of those ran on an angle. There's 2 of them that ran on an angle to the manholes. The ones that are 0, those ones are either not connected to the main or they had structurally sound plastic and we just connected right where we disconnected to put under the new pipe. So that's why there's 0s, and the numbers that are reflected there are what we're constructing. So, is there any questions from anybody affected by this project?
Anyone have any questions?
So Dave, the total cost for the laterals in this district was $54,149.40. and then the city picks up half, which is $27,7470, and then the property owners that we did change out laterals is $27,07470.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that's addition from those two columns, which you see, well, several columns, address, measured pipe length, cost per foot, that's based on the contractor's bid price to install per lineal foot. And there's the column that says property owner cost, City of Alma cost, which is literally divided in half of the total, and then the far right shows the total cost. So the city's portion, the property owner's portion.
And to clarify what you had said at first, that we need to put everyone on in the beginning, and then if they do not need to be replaced, that's represented by the zeros.
Correct.
Because we can
Either they were
do
not
it-
connected to this main that was replaced, or they had structurally sound plastic.
Right, correct.
Correct.
Okay. Anyone? Okay, so do we move to, but, okay, I thought, okay, that's what, is anyone from the public affected by this, or even if not, have any questions for Dave or any of us about the special assessment district number 3? No? Okay, no questions, so someone would like to close the public
I
hearing?
move to close the hearing.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the public hearing is closed. So we will move on to consideration of a resolution to approve the final special assessment district roll number 3 of 2023 for construction of sanitary sewer service leads for the North of Washington Sanitary Sewer Project.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support.
Yep, we need to fill in the blanks here, what the commission would like to do for installments and the interest rate.
Okay.
Typically, historically, we've provided installments for 5 installments, so 5 years. The initial due date, traditionally, it always is the end of fiscal year, which is May 31st of 2026. So that would be the initial due date. So if a resident wanted to pay off all their bill right then, that's the date they'd have to do it by without any interest charges. Or if they wanted to pay half of it, then the interest would be applied over that 5-year period on what's left of the installment. The interest rate is based on the 5-year treasury plus 1%. So as of today, that would be 4.5%. And if the commission's agreeable to those, that's what we've done traditionally. That's what staff would recommend to put in the resolution.
So Roger and Drew, is that part of your, or Michelle, whoever made the motion and
Yes,
support?
yes.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
And just for the public and for anybody else, again, if whatever is on their special assessment, if they pay it before May 31st, there's no interest. If they say they pay half of it by May 31st and say there's a remaining of $500, that $500 would be broken out into 5 installments and the interest would be applied at that first year. So the interest is already there. So it's not like per year, whatever's left. It's based upon whatever's June 1st of 2026, that 4.5% interest would be applied to that dollar amount.
So the entire interest amount that is left over on June 1st, it has
July
interest
1st.
attached, and
July
that's
1st, isn't
And
it?
then it's just split over a 5-year
for the
period.
5. So there's not
June 1st.
interest, June 1st. There's not interest attached for each amount of the 5. The interest is added on with what the balance that is left as of June 1st and divided by 5.
That's correct.
Okay. Any other questions or clarifications? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that has passed. Thank you. And now we will move on to the next public hearing. Hold a public hearing at 6 PM or as soon thereafter as the agenda allows to consider the final special assessment district number 2 of 2024 for construction of sanitary sewer service leads on Charles Avenue.
Move to open the public hearing.
Support. I have a motion and support to open the second public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Dave, take it away. We've opened the second public hearing.
The next one along our SAD journey is Charles Avenue. This is for the sanitary replacement that happened this past year is in conjunction with the street project on Charles Avenue. That's our project boundaries, by the way, from Iowa up to the rail trail, so not too many houses on here. Same rules apply as mentioned before. Anything or any residents that could potentially be connected to the sanitary sewer are a part of the initial SAD. If they're not connected, or if the pipes don't need to be replaced, if they're structurally sound plastic, they don't get charged. So our initial estimate, this was based on contract bid prices, paid for lateral, the Y lineal feet of pipe, and then for the clean out. It's a little different than the last one. The last one was bid out, that was all inclusive in the pipe cost. So that's why you saw a higher pipe cost on the last one. This was the initial SAD that was sent out to 4 properties. And they were estimated, 3 of them were estimated at 10 feet. The other was estimated at 40. The reason why that estimate for 940 Charles is 40 is because, I'm going to go back to this previous slide, the sanitary sewer is on the west side of the road. It's basically directly underneath that west sidewalk. So the properties that are on that west side would have a much shorter distance to replace because we go right to the property line on that one. So that's why the estimates were 10. The opposite side, 940, 940 Charles at 40 foot, because if it would have to cross the road and nothing's unique on there, that would be the parking right up there where the restroom is. Pretty good idea that's plastic, but if there's something that we don't know of underground, maybe there's one that runs cross country through there or anything like that, that's why we put it on there. The city's not immune to that, as we own that, but didn't need to be replaced. So here's the final SAD. 925 Charles has 7 lineal feet. The rest of them are at 0 because they had structurally sound plastic. So if there's anybody from Charles, they can field any questions, but.
Yeah, any questions from the commission or the public related to Charles from Iowa to the Fred Meyer Hartman Trail? No? Anyone? No?
Move to close the public hearing.
Okay, we have a motion and support to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the public hearing has closed. We would, consideration of a resolution to approve the final special assessment district roll number 2 of 2024 for construction of sanitary sewer service leads on Charles Avenue.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All those in favor, please say aye. Oh, Eric's got to add this, sorry. Yep, thank you.
We'll go through this again, because that's what we should do for each one. Again, it will be staff recommendation again to 5 installments over a 5-year period. The interest rate is set at the 5-year Treasury rate plus 1%, which is 4.5%. The initial due date to pay without any interest accrued would be May 31st of 2026. Then June 1st from then on, whatever's left, be it the full amount, or if the property owners made payments, those 5 installments would be equally divided with the 4.5% interest.
Okay, so we're good with that as part of the,
Yes.
so, okay.
Yes, definitely.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have adopted that. Thank you. Okay, number 3, hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the agenda allows to consider the final special assessment district number 4 of 2024 for construction of sanitary sewer service leads on Moyer Avenue.
Move to open the hearing.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. All those in favor of opening up the special assessment district number 4 public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have opened next hearing.
This final SAD for the evening is for Moyer Avenue. This is the project boundary within the yellow rectangle. This is for the sanitary sewer laterals that were placed as part of the main for the street project that was on Moyer Avenue from Hawthorne to Hubble Street. When we set up the initial SAD, these are the contractor bid prices. This one includes for the Y, that's for the connection on the main, for each lineal foot of pipe that was placed, and for the clean out. There's a grand total for those, and anybody that had non-structurally sound plastic would pay for half of that. The city would pay the other half, but that is included in the upcoming prices. This is the estimate. We estimated at each property along there at 22 lineal feet based on the idea that the sanitary sewer is roughly in the middle of the road. So everybody was kind of an estimate at 22. So same thing, we added any property that could potentially be connected to it with the idea that we can take them off if they aren't connected or if there was no reason to replace the sanitary sewer lateral. And here are final numbers. There weren't actually too many of them on Moyer Avenue. There's a couple, and if anybody has any questions as to why there's 20 foot, 24 foot, just depends on where that joint was in the pipe. So this is not familiar for newer commissioners, being that 4-foot discrepancy. When we replace the lateral, we go to just outside of the curb line or the right of the construction limits of the road or the property line. And if the pipe is not in good shape, we'll go to the next joint to find out a good piece of pipe to connect to, because we don't want to connect to a broken piece or one that's collapsed. So these are the final numbers for what was installed on Moyer Avenue.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I live on the corner of 623 Moyer, right on the corner of Moyer.
Can you don't have to necessarily get up to go to the podium since Dave's there, but if you can give us your name and your address.
I'm Barbara Ramon,
Okay.
623 Moyer,
Thank you.
on the corner of Moyer and Hillsdale.
Okay.
I have talked to everybody that came out, you know, and I just want to know, I received a paper in the mail, okay, and there's only 4 houses on Moyer that has a dollar sign, and the rest of them are all 0. And didn't you tie their sewer into the
Yes.
main drain?
Yes. Like I had mentioned, if they are structurally sound plastic, we don't charge them. If it's anything other than that, then we replace it to just outside of the edge of the road or to the right-of-way line, but in this case, it's beyond the road edge. And then they pay for half, the city pays the other half. But according to this, there were not that many of them that were not structurally sound plastic. So that's why they have a $0.
Can you take us back the picture, just point it out to her? And then...
623.
This is the project boundary. This is for the 2 blocks we did on Moyer.
Point your house out, Mark.
Right there. The one
Right
with the
here.
hole. Yeah.
Right there.
Okay. And on the corner, you know, they dug the big hole and they put that down there. And then all these cars came around a couple weeks later. And one of the guys said he didn't pass inspection. They had to dig it up, redo it. Across the road, I think they did the same thing. I mean, those guys were out there every day. I was home watching them. I just want to know, were we charged twice for that?
No.
Or one time?
The
I
only-
mean,
If it, I'm not sure what issue you're referring to, but if it's for the sanitary or the water, the sanitary you're only charged once. It's not your fault if they have to come out and make a new connection, or they may have been tying over a water line that may have been missed or anything of that nature. But no, you don't get double
I believe
charged.
it wasn't deep enough. I talked to Sarah
Okay.
in the front yard several times, you know, and was asking her questions, and then the contracting guys were there.
No, you only get the bill once for anything that's dug up. You don't get it
So
for
that,
any number of reasons for
I
that.
mean, none of us are getting charged twice because they had to dig deeper and put it down further.
You're charged by the foot of the
Yep.
pipe, not there, how many hours it takes them, or how many times they have to dig back in there. You're charged by the pipe that they replace, is my understanding.
Yep.
David, correct?
It's the
So when
footage of
they-
pipe that's actually in the ground.
So when you went from the road to hook in across my front yard into that pipe, that's what I'm getting charged for.
Correct.
Okay.
Because you said you initially thought it was in the middle of the road, and I thought it was 5 years to the
Move
west.
this chair. What you would pay for, if you look at the screen,
So,
the
yeah.
sanitary is roughly in the middle, and your lateral is somewhere out in the front yard.
Right there.
But you would pay for about, from the main to roughly about there.
Right there.
There, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Because if that ever, we don't want that to go bad underneath the new roads, the new roads cut up. Number 2 is, we're trying to get rid of clear water in the sanitary sewer. And we don't traditionally go all the way to the right of way if we don't have to, just because it keeps that bill shorter. If it ever has to get replaced in the future, it dramatically decreases your cost because you don't have to go under the road.
Right.
So we both win on that. The road doesn't get cut open and you save money.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had that replaced,
Yeah, they had to go the additional mile.
but you came a little further to hook on
Yep.
to the new pipe.
Yep. So is her bill 3,300 or?
Hold on here just a second, I'll take a look at it. The address to the 623?
Yes.
Yes.
My vision test isn't gonna work for me up there, but,
Here.
yep, this is the total cost
Okay.
for that amount of pipe, for that 24 feet, including the clean out and the Y to connect, is $3,588.
Okay.
The city pays 50% of that, you pay the other 50%, so that's what your bill would look like, is $1,794.
And it has to be paid by May with no interest?
Correct.
Okay.
You pay it by May 31st, 0 interest. You don't pay, any portion that you don't pay, if it's the entire thing or whatever portion is left, gets added on your taxes if they go to the 5 full years.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's,
just pay it off. You never even gotta worry about it.
yeah, I don't want our taxes.
You understand now?
I do.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions from anyone? And thank you, Dave, for your careful and repeated explanation of these. It's confusing to all of us, so I appreciate what Dave does for us in helping us stay on track and understand what we're talking about. So this is the public hearing, so we need a motion to close the public hearing if there are no more comments or questions.
Move to close the hearing?
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the public hearing is closed. We are going to consider a resolution to approve the final special assessment district roll number 4 of 2024 for construction of sanitary sewer service leads on Moyer Ave with the additional information from Mayor.
Move to approve with the 5 years with 4.5% interest after that, after May through June 1st. And the remaining balance.
There we go. Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have closed that public hearing, and, okay, we're good, thank you. We will move on to our addition. We have a recommendation on bids. We have a consideration of a resolution to receive bids for the architectural engineering of the Business Innovation Incubation Development, BIID, space in the Opera House Boiler House at 408 North State Street, and award the project contract to the recommended bidder, Colliers Engineering and Design, for a total bid of $95,515. Also to approve the related request for purchase and authorize the city manager to execute the contract.
Move to adopt.
Support?
We have a motion and support to adopt. All those in favor, or does anyone have any questions or?
I just want to say, thanks to the college, we got these bids out. We were very pleased with receiving 5 responses. The college did walk through with those folks that did walk the site. Myself and Brian Stout from the college facilities and Jim McKern from the finance department at the college. We all met, went through the proposals, and all the proposals were well done. It turns out that our little bid was just as good as all the other ones. So our recommendation, after checking with a couple people and, making sure that the number, was solid, our recommendation is to go with the little builder, Colliers Engineering and Design. And from a timing standpoint, we'll have some back and forth with them, some initial meetings, probably get started with design work in the first part of January, if you approve.
Remind us all, if you will, Eric, about the purpose of all this.
Yes. Almost a year and a half ago, we received a earmark from Senator Peters' office. It was obviously not just his office, but presented to the Senate through his office for the Business Incubation Innovation Development Center. Originally, we had asked for $4 million for that project. After all the back and forth that they do at the federal level, we received $2 million. So we weren't able to be as big as, do a big as project as we initially had thought. So working with the Small Business Administration, who is overseeing this earmark for us. We adjusted our project to a smaller space, which is the Opera House Boiler House, as it's known.
It's not a closet, I'm imagining.
Exactly. So for one, we could fit the construction part of it into that space and still have dollars left over for the programming that we'll need for the engineering, prototyping equipment, the trainers or oversight that we'll need for entrepreneurs going in and training. And then also, as part of our project, we'll have a space that's basically white boxed out, about 800 square foot, for a retail incubator space. Retail is important, but it's tough to get going. It's a really tough market to break into and be successful. So what we're hoping is to provide a space free of charge to a entrepreneur that wants to start a retail business, that goes through the training that we'll require, and so we'll give them a year in there, and hopefully we can send them out into one of the empty spaces in the downtown and have a new business, and hopefully that generates something that we'll be able to do over and over again. But right now, this is getting it constructed and put together is the main part, our main focus right now. We'll be back probably about May 1st with, May 1st will be bids going out for the construction. And so about 4 weeks later, after that, sometime in June, we'll be back for this board to review the recommended bid for construction. Sorry, that took a little bit longer.
No, that's cool. No, that's great.
But this has been a long time coming. We talked about it many months ago, and I just want to thank the college for all their help in trying to get this off the ground, and of course Senator Peters and providing this funding. And we got a long way to go, but we're finally off the starting blocks.
So if I want to start a new widget company, because I've got a better widget than anybody else, and everybody agrees that this is a good deal, I can have that space for the first year.
For retail.
For retail, yeah, I'm going to sell, right, and I'm going to sell my widgets out on the street, but this will kind of save me investing in a building and something if my idea is stupid.
And we haven't come up with the how we'll
There'll be a criteria to
criteria and
choose
how we'll
select.
take and select
I think
somebody.
that's great.
But ultimately, we're hoping that this gets something going that can, on a continual basis, because retail is a tough business, but a strong downtown, you have two things. One is restaurants and two is retail. So that's our hope, and we're pleased to be a partner with the college.
What's 800 square feet? What's this room right here? 20 by 20 here?
800 square foot. It's not.
a lot bigger.
It's about
Yeah.
It's a decent size.
20 by 40.
It's a decent sized space, but they'll have to use that for, like, if they're buying product.
Right.
That'll
Store and-
still have to have that.
That's a good size shed.
Okay, I move to adopt.
Yeah, sorry.
Support.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, I think it's a great idea. We've been talking about it at least for 10 to 15 years in theory about this, and so I appreciate the college's assistance and the money from Senator Peters' office and all of our city people who are working towards this. That's great, so thank you. Okay, we will move on to resolutions. We have a consideration of a resolution to ratify investment of the following city funds. We have one investment for $250,000, an interest rate of 3.75% at Allied Bank via 5/3 Securities, and it is a CD.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All those in favor, anyone have any questions? I keep forgetting that part. Feel free to interrupt me. If no questions, then all those in favor of adopting this, ratifying this investment, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we have adopted that. We have a consideration of a resolution to approve a request from the Alma Highland Festival Committee to permanently extend the fiduciary partnership with the City of Alma for the Highland Festival Sponsorship Fund.
Move to adopt. Support.
And Eric, do you have any background?
Just real
to
quickly,
share?
we talked about it last meeting. This is so we can just continue on without having to bring this before you every year, and plus the festival committee can count on that it's all taken care of, so.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we have a motion and support, correct? All those in favor of adopting that, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, and thank you to the Highland Festival Committee Partnership. Okay, we have consideration of a resolution to authorize the Public Services Director to execute the Eagle CWSRF project milestone schedule for fiscal year 2026 fourth quarter financing.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Any questions or background?
Just that this is the next phase in it, and we need to have an authorized signator, and that's what we did with the drinking water SRF, so we're following the same process.
Okay, so Dave's head is on the proverbial signature line.
The signature
Thank you,
line,
good to know.
It'll be the public services.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and support. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you're it, Dave, thank you. Ordinances. Consideration of a resolution to adopt ordinance number 850, an ordinance to amend the zoning map as it appears in section 60-52 of the ordinances of the City of Alma to zone parcel number 29-51-009-001-00, which currently has no zoning classification, to LI Limited Industrial District.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any background?
Just, this is the final step in providing a zoning classification for the vacant parcel that's next to our lime pond down on the corner of Van Buren and South Lincoln. We've owned the parcel since 1995, and it's never been given a zoning designation. In our future land use map, it is public, quasi-public, which is what that property next door is being used for, which is our lime ponds for our water plant process. And that is the intended use going forward. It'll be of some kind of a public utility purpose. So that's the proper zoning destination and our future land use map.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any additional questions? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have approved that zoning classification. Second is a consideration of a resolution to adopt ordinance number 851, an ordinance to amend the zoning map as it appears in section 60-52 of the ordinances of the City of Alma to rezone parcel number 29-51-092-251-00 from R1 Single Family Residential to LI Limited Industrial.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion of support. Any?
Same kind of thing. This is where our lime pond is located. It is zoned R1, which is single family residential, which is not the current use or any future use for sure. Our future land use map has that also as public, quasi-public for public utility purposes. So to align with our future land use map and align with what the actual use of the property is, we need to make the zoning change.
Properly, good. Okay, thank you. We have a motion and support. All those in favor of adopting this, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we have reports of officers, boards, and committees. The City Commission may receive the following reports by one resolution. A City Commissioner may remove any item within this section for individual discussion and vote. We have the Alma Police Department November 2025 report, Building Permits November 2025 report, Alma Transit November 2025 report, Finance November 2025 report, and the City Manager's report.
Move to receive 1 through 4.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor of receiving reports 1 through 4, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great, we have received those.
Move to receive the City Manager's report.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support, and
Okay, very, very limited here because we talked about all this in our agenda, but I wanted to put it in the newsletter so the commission was ready for tonight. We just approved the schedule for the CWSRF project, but what I also wanted the commission to be aware of and the general public, even though that CWSRF is providing between loans and forgivable loans of 20.5 million, give or take, somewhere in there. That's not going to take care of everything that we've talked about at the plant that needs to happen. So we are looking at additional resources from, we met with USDA last week. So at some point, we'll be coming back to commission with some other funding opportunities to finish out the projects that need to happen at the wastewater plant. But the major things with the CWS that actually function, that keep everything moving the way it's supposed to be moving, is under the CWS project. But anything that's left over, we're looking for additional funding. So I just wanted to put that on the radar for the commission. And we'll definitely be talking about it, goal setting, which is only a month and a half away. So we'll be talking about it then too. So fun one, the library holiday photos. Lori informed me that we had a total of 156 families, 604 individuals, and a handful of pets that came through during that time period. And they went through a lot of hot chocolate and popcorn.
A lot of popcorn.
Yes, a lot of popcorn. And Lori wanted to say thanks, and so do I, because Scott was a downtown merchant for a very long time. Ashland Portraits for taking the time and their talents to come over and do that for us every year. So we do very much
Your picture
appreciate
taking
that.
works up a big appetite.
Especially if you're there waiting that long. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
We've already talked about the BIID Center project at length, so we'll move on to the next one there. We did provide these updated photos for the animal transit expansion. We should start seeing all the roof and the walls being completed here very soon by Christmas. They hope, from what Brad has told me, that the jockeying of the bathrooms between the public and for the staff has been a challenge. So the restroom lobby should be all completed by December 19th. So that's good news. And then sometime in mid-January, consumers will be installing our new gas meter. Obviously, it's a bigger space. We need a bigger gas meter. So that will be happening along there. And then, of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the Come Home to Alma for the holiday celebration. This Friday, everything kicks off with the parade, Larry Motley Christmas Parade at 6 o'clock. Tree lighting is at 8 o'clock. Christmas cash following right after that. So hopefully, the weather report doesn't look the greatest from a cold standpoint, but it's winter. So just bundle up and hopefully see everybody down there. We have over 40 entries in the parade already, and that's people that let us know. So they usually have a couple come in after that. The next morning, the Jingle Bell Run 5K, 10K. We're reaching our maximum on that very soon. And if you're looking for something to do that morning from 9 to 11:30, I still would love a couple more volunteers. And then on Sunday, the Holiday Home Tour. They have 5 homes on the schedule from 3 to 6 p.m. and all proceeds from that go to the Parade House restoration.
Perfect, thank you. I know I saw on the list that the fire pits will be there, which are wonderful, especially when it's cold. But we had discussed last year garbage cans or something. There was a concern about not having waste receptacles out.
We'll have some,
Do you have something?
we have ours for the city, but we'll have some extra ones out. And we encourage folks who have, like say, free cocoa or
They have
something,
something available.
that they have something available as
Sure.
well to take care of that, so.
Perfect. Okay.
But different this year, the fire pits, they won't be wood fire pits, they'll be propane
Oh,
fire pits.
Okay.
Just the cleanliness of it, easier to maintain. When the night is over with, we don't have to throw a bunch of water on it and wait for them to cool down. We can turn them off and take them off. So that'll be a little bit different this year.
okay. And I will volunteer Wells and I again for your corner.
All right.
We'll stand on the corner.
I'll give you those details after the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you.
That's fun.
Okay, so we have a motion and support. Any questions for Eric about his report? Okay, all those in favor of receiving the city manager's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect, thank you. Appointments. Consideration of a resolution to reappoint Sue Welling to the Alma Housing Commission for a 5-year term expiring December 31st, 2030.
Move to approve.
Or,
Okay, we have a motion and support. I am 100% confident that Sarah has contacted Sue Welling and she's agreed to this before it was on our agenda. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We have approved Sue, and thank you, Sue Welling, for what seems like a million years, 2030, on the Alma Housing Commission. Thank you. In new business, consideration of a resolution to approve changes to the water shutoff policy and adopt the policy as amended to include suspension of water shutoffs in December.
move to adopt.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support, and Eric, do you want to-
Just real quickly, we talked about it at the last meeting to make sure that the commission was on board with that. Our practice has been over the years, an unwritten policy, but it was just our practice that we would not do any turnoffs for a couple of reasons. It's just staffing for getting things on and off. If someone happened to come get a shut off, they come in and pay. We might not have someone on staff there to come and turn it back on, so we don't want to leave them over the holidays without water. So this, what you're approving, you approve this tonight, that will, the policy will match our practice that we've been doing for the last at least 5 years, 6 years, so.
Perfect, thank you for that. Housekeeping piece and kindness. Okay, we have a motion and support. Any additional questions? Okay, all those in favor of adopting this policy, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay, we have adopted that policy, and thank you for that. Do we have a motion to pay the appropriations?
Move to pay the appropriations.
Thank you.
Those things.
Okay,
Pay
any
them.
questions for Curtis? Are we good on what he said he's going to pay? Okay, good. We have a motion and support. All those in favor of paying the appropriations, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will have paid the appropriations, and thank you, Curtis. Commissioner comments and reports. Roger.
The Gratiot County Players fundraiser, group raiser, whatever we wanted to call it last week, was a lot of fun for everyone. We had a very nice attendance. From the light booth I counted, I stopped counting at 100 and there were still some people coming in. Unofficially, Julie says the intake was about $5,000. And we need 20-something but there's other money coming from, other, this was just what we took in the little buckets that night, so. And I believe that most of the new sound system has already been installed. I think Jeff Howell's been over there for the past couple of days doing that, so it's going to be fun to see what we can do in the next, and fortunately I'm lighting the next play, so this should be interesting. But it was fun. The Thanksgiving dinner at First Pres went very, very well. We've had about 300. Everybody was very pleased with the smaller. I got no real complaints about not being able to do takeout meals. But since we didn't have any paper that we needed to bother with, we used all china, real glassware and everything for the dinner, and people were very, very happy with that. So, had a couple of supporters come forward to pick up the difference in what we needed, but we should be set for next year.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Roger. Drew.
Well, yeah, that was a fantastic event.
It was fun.
I attended as well. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad to hear that they raised $5,000 already, so that's great. Looking forward to come home to Alma on Friday. I just think it's always one of the nicest nights to be in Alma, so that'll be a lot of fun. And I wanted to mention, for those who don't know, next Wednesday, Alma native, Alma College graduate Pete Johnston will be returning to Jeopardy to play in their tournament play. He's the only Michigander in the entire tournament, and you'll get to hear Ken Jennings say Alma, Michigan to the 8 million Jeopardy viewers. So that'll be a fun night.
Just happens to be your brother-in-law, right?
Happens to be my brother-in-law. Yeah. But it'll be a fun night. Yeah, it's great for Alma.
Yep.
Okay. And what night did you say it was?
That's Wednesday the 17th.
Thank you. Michelle? I'm all set. Okay, Sonia? Nothing. Anything else you want to say? Sarah? No. I have nothing else to add except my appreciation for your patience with me tonight. And now we will move to public comment. If there's any member of the public who would like to talk for up to 5 minutes, if you would please come to the podium and state your name and your address, we would be happy to listen. No one? Okay, it doesn't look like there's anyone with public comment.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, Michelle, start the roll. Okay, all those
That was the next.
in favor of adjourning the meeting for tonight?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.